Hey, Sualin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Yo, shout out to Adam for putting this together. Uh, he said that listen, he just sent me a page. It was just like, yo, she'd be a great guest. And I was like, all right. And then I was looking through them like, all right, you're just wearing mad heat throughout your
Thank you.
Instagram.
Yeah, Adam hit me. I was like, "What, me? Okay."
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
but, for people who are hearing you for the first time, let them know who you are and what you're about.
My name is Sualin. I work with children. I have my own children. I like to skateboard. I like to read books. I love hip hop. I go to shows all the time. And that's basically what I do.
Yeah. What's your last show?
My last show was a De La Soul show. It was honoring Dave.
Oh,
Rest in,
you were there?
I was there. I was
Oh, rest in
right
peace,
there.
Dave.
It was awesome.
That's crazy. Where you didn't get on stage. That stage
I
looked.
did not get on stage. That was
Yeah.
a zoo, but I was, front and center. It was awesome.
Yeah, I had Dante Ross on my podcast,
Ooh,
and
okay.
and so, well, yeah, you're part of now. You're on the alumni, my first kicks alumni with Dante,
Awesome.
but he oh yeah, I was gonna, I didn't want to pull the hey man, can I get in there, like.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to ask, but that would have been worth asking for, honestly. It
Yeah.
was a great show. A lot of people showed up. Like
I mean,
it
you got to
was a
see
great turnout.
Queen Latifah.
Yeah, Queen Latifah never performs, and then she comes on and like performs. I was like, what is happening right now? I was really excited for that. That was awesome.
That yeah, that I because I watched it on Twitch because they had
Okay.
it, and then Amazon also hosted it too. But I was like, man, I really wish I was there because that was I've never been able to see De La. It's one of my biggest regrets. My first one is passing up seeing Tribe while Fife was
Okay.
alive, and then
Hmm.
now it's my second one is seeing not being able to see De La while Dave was alive.
Yeah, that's sad. But yeah, that's what you got to do things. You got to just go. You
Yeah,
know, do what you got to do.
yeah. I mean, you're right. Like, cause
Yeah, you can't like hold back on stuff. You hold back, God forbid somebody dies, and then you won't be able to have that chance again. You got to take your chances.
yeah, for real. You got to live because life comes at you fast,
It does.
and you got to take advantage
Mm,
of whatever time you have on planet Earth, right?
definitely. You gotta do everything.
Yeah,
Everything your heart desires, just do it.
big facts. I mean, I'm known for my hard pivot, so I'm a pivot straight into asking you the question that you're here to answer that I ask everybody each week, and that is, what's your first kicks? What's that first pair of sneakers you absolutely needed to have?
All right. So the first kicks I needed to have, I was in second grade,
Hmm.
and this was when you're a kid in the 90s, like you had that one pair of shoe until it was like completely destroyed.
Oh yeah.
So I had some like little Fila's that I didn't choose them. They were kind of chosen for me.
Hmm.
They were like black, little regular ones. I was like, okay. But then I passed by the store and they had like this fresh pair. It was like shiny, like you see in cartoons and stuff. It
Hmm.
was like shiny. It was the Air Force One mids with the jewel swoosh. I
Hmm.
had to have them. They were white. They matched with all my clothes, and the little shiny swoosh was like I had to have it. It was amazing.
That is like what were you so like your parents were able to just be like, all right, let's go, or was this the one shoe out the year? Did you get good
Luckily,
grades?
I was due for a pair.
Hmm.
I was due for a pair. The pair that I wanted before that though was the more up tempos.
Hmm.
And those in 96 when Scotty was pushing them, they were like $85 in my size. I was a size like 2. And that was
Hmm.
expensive. That's the one with the bubbles all around. It
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
have the much and the most up tempo, something like that. But this was the one with all the bubbles around it. And I wanted those, but they were expensive. Back then that would have been like 150 now. I wouldn't spend that on my 7-year-old now. So I couldn't get those. So I was like, okay, mom, let's see if you can get me these. So I was due for a new pair and I was able to get them. And I wore them every single day. I was in second grade. And to be like 7 and like know what you want and like who you want to be, that was pretty cool. Like I was that kid. Like I remember I had a Columbia jacket,
Hmm.
the Bugaboo, the 3-in-1. I had
Hmm.
blue with the aqua fleece underneath. I was killing it.
You were you were
So I was
totally
like, I
killing it.
need these shoes to complete it. I
Hmm.
remember when I got the shoes, I put on the jacket, I threw on some little gray sweats. I thought it was the shit. I had a little hoodie underneath. I like to dress baggy. My mom didn't love it. She
Hmm.
always wanted to stuff me in dresses. And I was like, that's not me. So I always wanted to dress like in baggy. I loved hip hop already. I was 7 years old. I was already, engulfed in that culture.
That is. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up here in Queens,
Okay,
like
okay.
where I still live now.
Don't dox yourself. I've done it too many, almost close too many times. I'm like,
I love it here. I'm not.
because like, well, you're talking about the Columbia and everything. Because I lived by Left Rack most of my like growing up. I lived by Left Rack, and
Mhm.
there that's like the Columbia Jackets was like straight drug dealers. Like that's Nori's area. Like that's all Nori's
Yeah.
block. Like.
Left frag, yeah. Man, yeah, I had to have that. I was a little kid, but I was like, nah, I need that jacket.
I mean, so then from then on, were you just like always into sneakers, or were it just like there was a moment like you had that gap, and then you were like, I'm in high school now, I got to be fresh, 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 or is it just like,
Yeah, I went through a small gap, but like I still loved sneakers. I still loved hip hop and everything. I was still like into a lot of that stuff.
mhm.
Yeah. So like I started getting like little Jordans here and there. And like I always had Air Force Ones. Or but I got like into Tim's a lot. And I had a lot of Air Maxes. So 95s and Air Max Pluses. That was like my style.
Yeah, I mean, it's Air Max month, so like
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
it's wild how in Queens, because I was telling this to somebody on an episode. I was just like, Queens at one point was just everybody was wearing Air Max TNs, or
Mhm.
like, or just wearing nothing but Air Maxes, and so I don't know, something about that shoe, and this is why. Well, I'll tack it onto Action Bronson's sneaker that he dropped last week. Is like the runner craze in Queens was
Yeah.
for years.
I
Like,
remember that with the shocks. I remember the shocks were really popular amongst like
mhm.
people here in Jackson Heights. Oh my goodness. But
That,
yeah.
yeah, I think that I don't know. It's something about like, because Queens during that time in the '90s and 2000s, it was very like Hispanic dominated, and I think that like, and I mean like I was rolling with nothing but Peruvians and Colombians and
Colombians, that's yeah.
and I'd be like fresh in Flushing Meadow Park, and then everybody just wearing the same thing. They got the blowouts with the curly hair.
Yup. Oh man, what a time. Oh,
the I mean, what did you go to, like, I mean, I'm gonna just take a guess. Newtown?
I did go to Newtown. And my
'Cause-
sisters went to Newtown. So I have older sisters. So
yeah.
whatever styles they were bringing in, they were like, oh, mom, I want these kids because, everybody's rocking them. So I was able to get them too. So
Hmm.
whatever my older sisters had, I was able to have it too. So that was like really like cool to
Oh, you
have
were ahead
that.
of the
That was
game.
like my guidance right there.
Yeah. You was ahead of the game on that one, yo.
Second grade coming in with whatever was hot.
That's
I was
wild.
feeling it.
I didn't go to Newtown. I went to Washington Irving, aka Hell High in the city. It was a
Okay.
very very bad school, but
Was it really?
yeah, I mean, we were known for like, I mean, when you explain bad schools to people not from New York City, they'll just be like, "You had metal detectors?" Like, and then you'd be like, "But I'm."
I instantly thought metal detectors when you
Yeah.
said it was a bad school. I'm thinking fights and knives being thrown everywhere.
Yeah, that was, yeah. That's what I was dealing with, fights and knives, and like, yeah, it
You
was.
should have gone to Newtown then. It
I
wasn't
wish
too bad over there.
I would have taken any school in Queens at this point, but that was just like the area of just like everybody was just you. It was weird because like people from everywhere would go to that school, that high school. So
Mhm.
you get the Bronx, you get
Yeah.
like Queens, you'll get, yeah. And I lived in Manhattan at the time, so it was
Okay.
just, yeah, it was just like I just remember being like, man, I wish I could go back to Queens.
Damn. But that's cool. I like the high schools in the city is cool because everybody from all around comes and you
Yeah.
get the bombs and everything. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that like I mean, listen, my love for hip hop grew in high school. I don't know when did it grow for you?
I was like 6. I was like 6. It was like Wu-Tang and then like Big Pun, and I was just like, yeah, I like this.
But how did you discover it?
How did I discover it? From my older cousins and my sisters, watching MTV, BET. I was just like, oh my God.
That's wild.
Yeah.
The so then also as you mentioned, your sisters brought in your sense of fashion too. So like, what? How did you combine like your love for hip hop and the sense of fashion that you're getting, and so what becomes you?
That's a good question. I mean, watching the videos, so like Ice Cream, the video of Ice Cream, and like watching all the, their style and the clothes, like I just wanted to have what they had. I remember seeing like a picture in the magazine of like Big L. He had on like these brown Tims, and then I wanted those brown Tims. So it was just like seeing it on the TV, like MTV and all that. And then my sisters were wearing it and like the stuff, and I was like, I think I want those, but I could wear them better. So I would throw on with like something else. I don't know. Like I was a little kid, like my youngest son's age, and I was putting these outfits together in my head and just feeling it, just want just going with the flow of everything.
That's wild. You mentioned that. I mean, Wu Tang. Because have you been watching the Wu Tang show?
It got a little boring for me after like the beginning of season 2. Like I used to watch it because I liked the gear that they had. They had like a lot of good vintage pieces.
Yeah.
Damn, but it got a little boring. I don't know. Like I can't watch that much TV these days. Like the older I gotten, like I feel like it doesn't keep my attention. I rather like read books and stuff like that. I was like bored easily. I was like,
I mean, yeah, you're right about the fashion in there is wild, but they did like I mean they touched on when Ghostface would do the two tone wallabies,
now
and
I'm intrigued. Now I'm like watching
that
it.
was it was in the first
They spoke
season.
on that. I feel like watching.
Yeah, they
Okay.
they they did the yeah. He was like, it was like what was it? It was like the first season, and then they're like this is after him and Raekwon were getting into it, and then they were like Bobby was like let's start we're gonna start doing our thing together, whatever. And then I think it was like, oh, we gotta dress, how we gotta dress. Like this is and all they did, it was kind of like a throwaway, but if you noticed, you noticed, which was
Yeah,
just
like if
like,
you know kind of thing.
yeah, and it was just like a nod to it where Ghostface pulls up and he's just like, "Yo, man, I got these," and he pulls out a pair of blue and cream, but it's the two tones where it's just like a like checker box style, and
Hmm.
he's like, "Yeah, man, I dyed these myself," and then that was it. They mentioned it no more after that.
But I feel like they had to include it, just because
Yeah.
I feel like every time I see Wallabies, I instantly associate it to Ghostface, honestly. So I remember having Wallabies too when I was little. I had them in black just because they would last longer as opposed to having the cream pair. So I had them in black, but I did have them. I always had to check off like things like that.
Wallaby, I don't know why I never got into it, but
It's
when
a
I was,
weird shoe.
it is, it's
It's a
I,
weird shoe, but I feel like you gotta have them. I don't know. You gotta try.
I feel
Gotta
like
try.
it's true, especially if you're like, see, I missed out on getting the MF Doom Wallabies, and
Mhm.
which I on when I had Dante on, he was telling me how when you rub away, they're Knicks colorway, so like you get a blue, it's blue on top, and then they rub away and you get orange under it. And I didn't know that until he told me on the episode. I was
And
just
then you're
like,
like, damn.
now I like, yeah, I would totally rock these.
Yup. Yeah, that's fire. I like that. Like the rubber weight. I'm not a huge fan of the rubber weight, but sometimes it's kind of fire. I like it.
No, yeah. I mean, now
Um,
it's yeah. I was
I
gonna
don't
say
know, like
like,
like the SBs. I like the
yeah,
SBs. That rubber weight because it makes sense because you're rubbing your shoe on the rubber weight. That
yeah.
no more.
So how did you? Since you mentioned skateboarding, how did you get into skateboarding?
It was like I mean I've always been like interested in it. I always thought it was like cool. I've always watched like clips and all that stuff, but I liked it like years ago. That's when I started to like it. But like last spring, I was with my kids at the skate park and they like to ride their scooters, and I was just sitting there listening to music, and I was like, damn, like I need to do something. Like I want to feel the gales of freedom in my hair. I need to do something. I need to ride something. So I was like, let me try like skating. And then I just tried it and I liked it and I haven't like stopped. So then it's like I just started setting like little goals, like let me learn how to do this and then that. And then I just started learning things. And it was like, I'm about to make a year already, like committed to skating.
Well, you're giving me hope because I gave up on trying to learn.
Yeah, that's the thing that yeah, it's very easy to give up. But once you kind of get like through like a little, a little hump of like learning a little something, you kind of like get like motivated again.
Cause like, cause I'm a big SB guy, right? I've been collecting SB since 2006,
Oh, that's
and
fire.
and so I was like, man, I wear SBs. I should learn how to skate. So
You
like,
should. Now you're like a poser. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah. So I was dealing with that because like I love skate culture and
Yeah.
I've
It
been
goes hand
following.
in hand with hip hop. So it's like.
Yeah, I mean, if mid '90s proved anything, like that movie.
There's another one. It's called When the Streets Were Silent, something like that.
Yeah, I had Dave Ortiz on an episode as well, and he was
That's
breaking down.
yeah,
He
that movie. Oh, I love it.
he was talking about all of that, like learning that stuff, like learning it through him because I learned
Mhm.
more because he was actually there while it's all happening. And I was like, my brain, like I'm like the entire time I'm like this, like through the whole the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
episode.
You're transfixed. You're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and but yeah, so like I got into skateboarding when I was young, like I don't know, I'm trying to remember.
A lot of people have little skateboard phases.
Yeah, like six, I want to say 6 or 7 or something like that.
Little phases here and there in their lifetime.
When I would go to like a video rental spot and get
Uh-huh.
and they had skate videos, and I would, oh
Hmm.
my god, I'm dating myself. People like
The Zoo York.
yeah.
That one was so popular. I love that one.
I mean, I think I watched when I was young and I didn't process it, but the Bones Brigade Search for Animal Chin. And I was
Yeah,
like, what am I watching? This is weird.
Bones Brigade. Yes, little vert skaters.
Yeah. But so then I was just like me and my friend in college because I got him into SBs a little bit more because he was like dabbling, and then I was
Hmm.
just like, nah, man, the whole community's
Got a beat
cool.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was just like, all right. Uh, he picked up a job at Uniqlo, and there was a guy there that was like a New York skate legend or something like that.
Okay.
And he was just like, "Yo," he texted me. He's like, "Yo, come down here. He's teaching me how to skate. We're gonna learn how to skate together." Yeah, I went one time. I busted my ass, and I was just like,
Oh my God.
I was like, "Nah, man, I don't
I
got
ain't
time
coming
for
over
this."
here no more.
Yeah. He was, but my boy, shout out to Mauricio because he's definitely listening to this. But he's bugging. He was bugging out. I go and he's wearing like chemises, like the pink box chemises.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but I'm like you just unds them to just jump on a skateboard. Like you can't do.
Do that.
You gotta
Oh,
wear.
oh my goodness.
It was just like, it didn't work out, and I was just like, all right, I'm not, and I still haven't like jumped on a board since, but I've been getting the itch to do it again.
Skating is hard, but it's like I think if it's humanly possible, like you should try it. Like that's how I see things. Like it's
Hmm.
possible. People do it all the time.
Well, when I get a little bit lighter, I don't,
I
you know.
I'll be looking now. I'll make sure that you get on. Especially you could rock your fours. You got the fours,
I,
right?
yeah, you looked at my story, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to Renarts, yo. They opened up like 4 months ago at Jackson Heights, and I went
Where?
over there
Where?
right on 82nd.
82nd. Yes,
Hmm.
that's where you. It was raffled.
Yeah, it was raffled.
Okay, I didn't know they did raffles.
I didn't know either, but
Okay, damn, you got lucky.
I got very lucky.
Mm.
All right, so after high school, after you trailblazed your way through high school, and you fly. Actually, very curious. Since you were into hip hop and that height, were you also in the low life as well?
I was familiar with it, but I was not getting the stuff because
Hmm.
it was really expensive. So as an adult, I'm like, I've always wanted that. Let me do it now. Like I've been doing that a lot.
Hmm.
Now that I'm older, my kids are more independent. I kind of just like went back and revisited a lot of the things that I wanted like in my childhood and kind of just got them. So like my more up tempos, I couldn't get them. They were very expensive. they came out like 2 years ago, and I
Yeah.
copped them. They're gonna come out again. I'm gonna get them again. Thermals are for kicks. So it was like, it was like high fiving your inner child kind of thing. So
Hmm.
with the low stuff, I just got like a bunch of the stuff, like everything that I could find vintage that I always wanted as a kid, just copped it now.
Yo, I mean,
Circle.
yeah, you gotta that
Got it.
that
I got it now.
you gotta pull up in the snow beach, pull
Yes,
over.
definitely. Yes, I gotta pull up in that with the matching hat.
That I mean, if you get did you get the Air Maxes?
No, I didn't get the Air Maxes.
You gotta get those. You gotta put that
I
on the
have to get
list.
those. Yeah. They
Because
got the
those.
primary colors. I feel like Polo does a lot of primary color stuff too, so those are like essential to have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, so then, what was your trajectory after that? Like after high school, you were like, all right, I'm going to college. Like, what was your
I
plan?
did. What
Mm-hmm.
happened to me after high school, I got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my oldest son, he's 13 now. So I got pregnant with him and kind of everything slowed down. It was mostly about him and just like taking care of him, buying stuff. So I always dressed him nice, always like what I wanted for myself. I would just get it for him.
Mm-hmm.
But like now that they're a little older, I just started, doing those things for myself now. They ask for things here and there. They like to dress nice too. They ask for the little things and I get it for them. But that kind of, I took a pause then, early motherhood and all that stuff.
He's like, Mom, you got to get me in a box logo.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was my little pause time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm back.
Full effect.
Yes.
Ready to go.
Yup, you know.
That I mean, but like, all right, so how was that? Like, what I know you put your collection on pause to just for that moment to take care of your son as he grows up, but like, were you just focused? You were like, let me get this out of my brain. I don't want to look at any of this stuff or else I'm gonna want
Yeah,
it.
it was because I had to take it out of focus because if I was gonna be into like I couldn't do all of it. I couldn't do it all. I had to be just focused on like raising him, getting him stuff. I was a stay-at-home mom too, so I
Mhm.
wasn't like working where I was able to like cop all everything that I wanted to. But I was watching. I was like, that's fire, but I wasn't really getting any of the stuff.
So then, what was that first? What got you back in? When you were like, all right, I'm gonna do those. I'm back in.
Yeah, I mean, it took like 8 years. So like
Uh-huh.
I had my son in 2010 and then 2018 was I came back. I was really feeling the leather on the Jordan ones.
Mm.
So I got the shadow. No, was it the shadow? I don't know. I forgot what it was. But I was like, wow, this is like good, like quality. I like this. So then I started copping, Jordans again and all that.
And
Back to work too. So that was dope.
okay, okay. And then what was that like? Your career was just like this is. Do you teach?
I don't teach. Well, I'm a para. So
Yeah.
what I do is like I take whatever the teacher's teaching and I kind of simplify it for a specific student.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the way that he knows how to learn, I teach it to him.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Are you just like pulling up to the school like I'm fresh? Here we go.
Yeah, kind of. I usually watch out for like all white kids because a lot
Yeah.
of kids like they get really close to me. I'm just like always close with the kids, I love kids. So they're like stepping all over me. So I stay away from like going to work with like all white kicks. Like today I wore my SB the crushed skate shop.
Oh, you got those?
Yeah,
Excuse
I was
me.
wearing those and I got stepped on a little bit, but like it's like suede brown, so it was okay.
I mean, those are dope. I think like yeah, SB has the past like 2-3 years. SB has definitely been like they were like we're back. You
Yeah,
know.
they are, right? They did like a good comeback
Mm-hmm.
because they were gone for a while. Like they had a lot of like Janoskis and stuff, right?
Hey, hey. I love a Janoski. All right.
Oh, oh, oh,
I
oh.
got 4 pairs of Janoskis. All right.
They have to be fire. Like I can't even like imagine what Janoskis you could possibly have that are fire though.
It's the full. I got all the floral prints. So like, yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking in my
yeah.
head. I was like, it has to be the floral print ones, like the little. Okay, those are okay to have. Those are okay. All right.
And listen, there's one that I do want that I haven't tried to get in a while, which are the winos. You know,
Okay.
with the wine rings on it. Like
Hmm.
those are fire. All right.
They're okay. I feel like they're a good a collector piece. I don't know about rocking them, maybe to the vineyard or
It,
something.
if we ever meet up for something or we run into each other, I'm gonna be wearing Janoskis. You're gonna be like,
Oh
ah.
my goodness. No socks. No socks.
No, I mean I
Shorts.
wear socks with everything. I don't
Shorts.
know.
No skis. That's exact. That's a vibe. With a linen button up.
Oh my god, you gonna? Am I on a yacht? What are we
Maybe. I don't
doing?
know. Because if you're putting up with those kicks, you better be on a yacht.
I thought they're. I think they're. I'm a big fan of like the vulcanized bottom shoes. So like I have Vans. I have like I like the Converses like that like
What are those the number? Is it 70? The Converse with the thicker
yeah
sole?
yeah
I think they're like
a
70s. I like
70.
that. Those are fire. I like those.
Yeah, I think they're 70s. Because I only have two pairs, right? I have three pairs. The off whites and then the Pata ones.
Okay.
And then yeah, and those were like, but they changed the inside. They have like Zoom Air on the inside now. That
Yeah,
Zoom
a little more
insole now.
comfortable. Yeah, because they
Yeah,
were,
yeah, they were like
right.
rock. They were rock hard.
Yeah. Oh, unbearable. You're like, I gotta get through the day with.
I don't know how. Listen, those everybody in the '90s and late no everybody in the 2000s that was like we're not into sneakers, like they don't care, they would just
Mhm.
buy Converses for $20 because they would just be in bins.
Models.
Models, oh my god,
Building.
Model bins was like packed to the brim, different
Mhm.
colors. You could just like be like, all right, and then they were like attached together with plastic, and
Yeah,
you
with the
just
little zip ties. It's like, whatever.
they
I
did
hope
not
you use
care.
the other one.
And so yeah, and I don't know how, because I had a friend and he had Converses that, because if you wear them so much they curl up to the front. You're
Especially if
like,
you wear them big, if you get them your
mm.
size, because they run already big. So if you got them your size, they were curling up. You were definitely looking like a little clowny. The red ones
Yeah,
curled up.
for sure, for sure. I think I don't know how people did it back then, because like because my friend he wore those to the ground and you could see the cardboard, and I was just like, yo man, it's time, like you got let him go. And he
Yeah.
would just be like, nah, and he would just tape him up,
Yeah,
and I'll be like,
intervention.
wild, wild.
What a time.
Oh man. So then now, what are you like beyond being a para? What else are you doing?
Just being a mom, that's
Hmm.
it. Just work, mom, a student. I feel like being a student forever is like important. Just always be
Oh,
teachable. So I like learning and like learning new things. So I'm in school too. So I guess a student, para, mom.
mm. Big, yo, that's a life lesson, because I think a lot of people don't understand that. Just like, because that's what I think as well, is just like once you stop learning, then you're not living anymore, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. You always gotta, be teachable. That's what I always tell people. A wise person is teachable. That's it. Why wouldn't you want to learn more? There's people that are like stubborn. Stubborn is a disease.
Hmm.
Stubbornness. You want to learn. You don't want anything new.
Have you? So I'm very curious. Did you ever make lines
What do you mean?
like for releases?
No, never.
Oh, you blessed.
Yeah, never made lines. Always had somebody, or that's it. Always had somebody. Back in the day,
Hmm.
always had somebody. And now I'm just, yeah, I've been lucky. Like, hey, I'll DM somebody. Hey, you think you could save me a size 5? I.
What? let me get those DM secrets.
Yeah, those are the best. Those are my plugs. I love them. Those are the best.
So I mean, if we talk about plugs, how do you get, like, I mean, do you know how to, like, can you teach somebody how, or the importance of a plug, or like what, like the process of getting, because I don't have a plug, so I actually don't know anything about plugs.
I mean, it's hard. I don't like to ask for things, but
Yeah.
there's things where you're kind of like, damn, I'm gonna have to ask. So if you know somebody that may work in a store that they're gonna get the release, I kind of go, oh, hey, you think you could, like, I'm just, but it's hard because nobody wants to be asked anything either. Like, you don't even talk to me. Why are you asking me for it? You know? So it's hard. I guess you just have to be social
Hmm.
and kind of like, really care about, hey, how are you and stuff like that, like genuine. You can't be like fake just to kind of get your size 5 on the side. You gotta be
He's just like, yeah, just put it over there. I won't text you to the next one.
yeah, just be genuine with people and just, be kind, social. That's
Hmm.
how you get through.
Have you always been social, or is this
No,
yeah?
no,
Oh,
I was never social at all, ever. This is something new. Just
how'd you learn? How'd you learn?
I don't, that's a good question because I don't know. I felt like I spent so many years like inhibiting myself from like cool conversations and cool places with cool people just because I was so shy. It was so painful. Then I get home and I just be like, wow, I should have said something. I should have asked for a picture. I should have, said this and that. So I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And I'm just like, who cares? Or like, what's the worst that can happen? What's the best that can happen? I started asking myself questions like that. And then it was just like, it's not a big deal. Just like, it's just talking. And that's how it, started. I just didn't want to feel like I should have.
Hmm.
Life was coming so fast. And I was like, wow, I'm like in these cool places and these cool situations. And I'm just like not talking with anyone.
What's a cool place, cool situation that the.
Probably I was backstage one time in the artist entrance of a hip hop festival in Brooklyn, and DMX was there with his baby.
Hmm.
And I was still like a little bit shy, but I just struck up a conversation with him. So that was like one of the first times. It was pretty cool. It was like a simple conversation, like, oh, because I was with my baby too, and they were the same exact age.
Hmm.
Exodus, that's his name. He's like 8 now, just like my
Oh,
youngest.
that's why he has it tattooed on his.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's his youngest son. So yeah, so that was cool that I was able to, chat a little bit. But I had
that's
situations like that where I wouldn't have spoke. And it was like, who cares? Just say something. And we just spoke a little bit and it was like cool.
that's wild. How'd you get into artist entrance area?
Artist entrance was I just kind of see I had like my baby, they didn't really like be like, get the hell out of here. They didn't think I was like mischievous or something bad. I was just like, let me try. And I did, and I tried, and it happened for me. I just went, just snuck my way through there. And
That.
they were just like, oh, she's, because when you do things with confidence, you don't get asked a lot of questions. So I
Hmm.
just walked in there with my baby, and it was just like, I belong here. What? you know? But if you do things like, can I? Am I allowed? They're kind of like, wait, excuse you. That's what I learned too. Like just doing things with confidence. I was like you're supposed to be there. You know?
I mean, that's totally like a life lesson like in because everybody always tells you like dress for the job you want, not the job you
Yeah.
have. And I don't like I've been in. I think I'll tell you this the one time. I tell you the one time that I was the most nervous and I knew I wasn't supposed to be there, but I snuck in.
All right, let's hear
This
it.
this is like a moment that forever just messed up New York Comic Con for me. So my boy, he gives me this pass that I didn't know what it was. He gives me a pass called back of house on it, and I'm just like, okay. So I get this back of house pass, and I'm noticing people are just letting me go wherever I want in New York Comic Con. So I go, all right, let's try this. So I end up walking in to Madison Square Garden because they were holding The Walking Dead. They were doing like the first episode of that season and a Q&A with the whole cast. So I walk into MSG, but I take the wrong entrance. I take the side entrance, where the players tunnel entrance.
Yes.
And they were just like, they looked at my pass and just let me in. And I'm like, okay. So then I walk in, and as soon as I walk in, like up the stairs, I get met by Robert Kirkman, who's the creator of Walking Dead. He shakes my hand, and I'm like,
Yo.
I'm like,
Oh my God.
I'm like,
You're just like, okay.
yeah, I was just like, it's like pleasure. And then I keep walking, and he's just like, yeah, the room's to the right. I'm like, the room. So I'm just thinking like I'm just going to the theater just to sit down and watch this damn episode or whatever. I walk into the green room. It's the entire cast, and everybody just like, hey, how's it going? I'm just like greeting my hand. I'm shaking Chris Hardwick's hand, and
Oh my
like,
goodness.
and it was just the most ridiculous. Seriously. So I'm sitting there because I'm not supposed to be there. And Michonne, who ends up playing, Michonne is Denai Guri. So she sits next to me and she's like talking to me the entire time. So I'm just there like, yeah. But I'm like, I'm dripping sweat at this point. I was just dripping sweat. I have a
You're like,
backpack.
oh my
I have a this big backpack with me too because I was at the con just like buying stuff, and so I was like filled with stuff, and then
Funko
and
Pops.
yeah, no Funko.
Signed Funko Pops. Plushies.
Definitely plushies and like Gundams and stuff like that. But so then I turned to her and she's like talking to me, blah blah blah. We're talking, and then the actress that plays Carol sits down too. So now I'm talking to Carol and Michonne.
This was the first season.
No, this was like
Or
the fourth season. Yeah,
fourth. Okay.
yeah,
That is fourth.
and then like everybody else of the cast starts coming in. Blah blah blah. We get ushered out, and I end up. They were like, "Oh, we saved you seats." And I'm like, how did they know I was gonna be here? Whatever. So I go sit down in the seats. No, I'm walking to the seats, and these there's just like regular people. I'm like, I've never seen these people. They turn to me and they're like, "Oh, are you the winner of the contest?" I was like, "The contest?" And then they were like,
I was
so,
like, yeah.
so then they're like, they're like, I'm like, yeah, the contest, and then we go sit down and I'm asking them like about them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, my mom's a screenwriter on the show, blah blah blah." And I was there like, I want this thing to be over. I need to get out of here. So like, I sat down with them. We were talking, and they sat us away. Like we weren't like in the front row. We were like 3 rows back. And so like we watched the whole thing, whatever. And then as soon as they were like, "All right, we're going back to the green one," I was like, "All right, I'm taking this right. I'm getting the hell out of here before they figure out I wasn't part of
Yeah.
this."
God, that's like the coolest scenario ever, though. Like as a fanboy, you're just like, "Oh my God, I'm
Mhm.
losing it right now." But I need to get out of here because they're gonna find out that I'm not the contest winner.
Oh
Oh,
man.
that's good. Oh man, that's awesome. I love that. And you're a
The
fan, though, right? Like,
yeah. I was. That's why I was sweating. I was there like, I was
yeah.
there
I would.
freaking
I
out.
don't. I don't really watch it like that, but I
Mhm.
would have been sweating too. So it's exciting stuff.
that that because like that it's just like it's wild because was talking to the Naiguri who ends up becoming part of like the Black Panther franchise, and like she's
Yeah.
like mad big now, and I'm just like thinking about it like
Yeah, you were like, I was right there with her. I was there with her. That's pretty cool. That's a dope scenario. I like that a lot. I love that for you.
thanks. Has there I mean in terms of you, like have you seen a small act become a big act, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, a bunch of time. I think it's so cool just to see them. Like I was, we were in that little spot, and look at you now. But yeah,
Yeah, tell
I
me
love
about a
I
time.
love watching like growth.
Yeah.
I mean, the most recent is probably like one of my favorite rappers, Rome Streets. Like I
Hmm.
used to watch him like in small little spots, like little venues, and now he's like, touring the world, and he's like, part of Griselda and stuff. So that was pretty cool. Like that's the most recent that I could think of. But
Oh
he's
yeah. I was
he's
gonna. Did you go to that? I think that he did a show at Elsewhere, right? Or am I confusing it?
he went to Elsewhere. He was in Elsewhere recently. Like he was there with Rock Marciano. He came out
Yes.
real quick. But yeah.
I didn't get to go to that. For me, it's like I guess the last time. I mean, the most weirdest thing. I don't know if you mess with like Billy Woods
I
and like.
don't.
Well, if it's like I like underground I like underground hip hop a lot.
Yeah, me too. That's like my thing. Like right now, I think because just like it's just like smaller and like more like intimate. That's what we
Yeah.
use. But yeah, just like a smaller. I like that.
But there's this rapper named Billy Woods, and he doesn't show his face in his music videos. So I went to a show. He shows up, and I'm like, I have to wait till the beat. And first I'm like, is that Billy Woods? And then he plays, and I'm like, it is. And then and then I end up talking to him after the show. But like that, like he's a dude that worked with Alchemist. Like he's like, and it's just wild to
Yeah,
see.
it's cool, and then you
Uh,
get to have a conversation with him after his show.
mhm.
Like that's why I love underground hip hop. Like you get to just like I guess give them their flowers and be like, yo, I really like your work. Like that's
Mhm.
awesome. That was great production in your last album, you know. It's cool. I like that. Just, you know, being able to praise them properly.
Do you, I'm wondering this because you're a music head too. Do you think in another city you can do stuff like the things that we do here?
Give me an example of something that we do here. Like,
Like, I mean, going to shows,
you know
like,
what? In other cities, they have like these weird, like I asked, and they have like these weird curfews.
hmm
So, like, you can't do things like how we do it here. Definitely not. So, no, they don't do it like we do it here. So they like coming here, like we show out, like, you know, somebody from LA comes and we're just like all there. We're, you know, we show up for them.
yeah.
That's how New York is. That's what I like.
I think that also I feel like that also relates to sneaker culture because like when it was the height of it, right? Like or whenever you try to whenever you kind of like find your people with that, right? Whenever
Yeah,
you want to do like a meetup or something like that, everybody's always down. Everybody's just
family.
like,
Yo, yeah,
yeah.
we become family. Like we just all share common interests and we become family. Like, yo, you're going to the show, you're gonna go wait on the first come, first serve line with me, like, you
hmm
know, or you're gonna cop it, see if you could get me my size. Like, you know, it's just all family. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Spending
I
time
think
with strangers.
I think that's I mean like it now I think it's a little bit harder, you know. I feel like we're so online that it's not a normal thing cuz like before me and my friends we would actually like me and my friends on on the forums I were on we were like yo man sneakers what was it? It was like uh SB meetup Thursday, and everybody would meet up. Then you do your sneaker circle picture on
I
your
remember
little
those. I remember those with your little digital camera.
yeah.
Damn, what
Put
a
it on the photo bucket.
yes, photo bucket. Damn, that was fire. I remember.
I think that I mean I want to bring it back. It's just tough. Like I think there's just like resell the way that resell works and like how it just like diluted what people think
Hmm.
sneaker culture is. I think really messed it up in terms of
Yeah,
that.
like that resale stuff ain't it. I don't like that. Like I like having my sneakers. Like I'll get whatever sneaker. I don't resell. Like I like having them. I'd rather have the shoe than like the money.
hmm I think
You know. Did you go for the New Balances?
I tried. Sold out immediately.
All right, so try Friday again. All right, at 12, I think. Friday at 12, right? On the
I'm
website.
I'm broke, so I had
All right, we'll try.
to. I didn't know they were gonna be 220 when they dropped, and then I was like, yeah, I can't do
I
both
thought they were gonna be
shoes.
more expensive because usually like the regular gray ones are like two something, right?
hmm
Like the regular ones. I thought they were gonna be more, so I was surprised. I was like, ooh, okay.
You going?
I got them last Friday.
Oh,
I
excuse
was
me.
able to win a pair. Yeah, I was like, me? What?
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, you're a size 5, right? So yeah, they were sitting on the site. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody was
those
like
tens went immediately. Size 10 went immediately. Everything else
size 13 because that's my size gone
gone.
immediately. I was
Oh,
very upset
yeah.
because I mean I even made a video on this on TikTok. Like I love Action Bronson. He's just like I always said when I ever before I met him for real, I was like Action Bronson's my spirit animal. Like that's what I kept saying to people. Um, and then I told the story before, but I had an opportunity to meet him before he was Action Bronson because I had mutual friends.
Oh, that's
Um,
fire.
and so I was invited to go eat the Action Burger at with him as he made it for everybody that was going, and I
Before he
just
was Action Bronson.
yeah before he was Action Bronson, and I said nah I'm good, and and I didn't go. Um, and then like 3 weeks later, I think he quit that job. He quit being a chef to become a rapper. So
That's
that
cool.
is
You had
wild.
the opportunity. You had it. But that's cool. That's awesome.
And then all right, so then here we go full circle. I'm around Queen Center Mall, and by chance, and he's in there doing an episode of F That's Delicious, Fuck That's
When he was
Delicious.
in Sabaros, right?
Yeah, he was in Sabaros, he was in Cinnabon, and that's when I ran there and I
Oh,
met him.
cool. Fredo Star was there too that day.
Oh, he was?
He was, yep.
Oh, I must have missed him
Yeah, he was there in Sabaros.
because I got to meet him, Mayhem, Body, and Alchemist, and it was just
That's so cool. I've met all of them.
They're so dope. I think
Yeah.
they're just like they're mad chill. So yeah.
Yeah, they're funny. It's like so
Mm,
cool. I mean, I love the show too. So
yeah.
seeing them, I was like, oh my God, fangirl. Yeah,
I
love.
mean, are you gonna go to because he's doing that residency at Le
He's doing the
Poisson?
resident. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sold the three shows sold out immediately, but I'm going to the last one, the 25th.
Damn, they're sold out. I should have
Yeah,
bought
they
a
sold
ticket.
out immediately, and then they opened. They were just like, we're gonna add one more show on the 24th, and you needed like a code to get it. But then they opened it up like Friday for everyone.
Well,
But I was
well.
like, I have to go. I always go to his every time that he has a show. I always go. So I'm like, I can't not.
Oh,
It's so
did you go to the one in Fresh Meadows?
Flushing Meadow
Flush
Park.
and Park? Yeah, I was
Yeah, I
there.
went to that one. I went to that one. That one was so fun. Sweet. It was so
Did
perfect.
you did you have somebody faint in front of you from heat exhaustion?
Oh my God, there was like five people that fainted. I was able to see one. There were like a few people away from me, and I saw him faint. I was like, he was just screaming right now, and he just like falls, and Action just kept saying, "Somebody in the middle, somebody in the front." I was like, oh my God. But I
I
was like,
was I was right behind that guy, just so you know.
oh yeah, they were just like dropping. I was like, damn.
Oh man. Oh, all right. So this has been a great episode. Sweet. Oh my god, Sualin. I almost messed up. I almost said the wrong name.
I was
Uh,
like, what? What?
yeah. But at the end of the episode, I also ask another question. And so I want you to transport yourself back to when you're about to get that box and open that box of your Air Force Mids,
Yeah.
Pearl, Metallics.
Mhm.
Now, you're about to open that box. Now, you now is right behind you as you open that box. What would you tell your younger self as they open that box?
I was like, I would have been like, this is just the beginning. Because I remember the excitement of opening. It was like the orange box, I think. I was just like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my God. Like, it was just like opening up like a treasure box, like gold. I was so excited to have them. I threw them on my feet right away. Walked all over the crib with them. Ugh, such a good feeling. I mean, I still have that feeling when I opened up my new sneakers the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the same. It's so cool.
That's dope.
Thank you.
Perfectly said.
Yeah.
Uh, appreciate you jumping on. And for everybody listening, you know what we say every week: wear your kicks. Peace.